Okay, good morning, y'all. I am going to make some homemade biscuits this morning. And I seen this lady do this, and we're going to try this out and see how they work. I am going to do one or two little changes to the recipe just because I can, because it's things I think belong in there. So we're going to try it out anyway. But it's so simple. It's self-rising flour. That's what I'm going to use, okay? And I'm just going to dump it in my big bowl here. I know the video's up above it a little bit, but we'll get there. I'm going to dump it out in a big bowl of it here. Just like this, see? And so I'm going to take and make me a well in it. That's what Mama called it, was a well. Wallow you out a little old hole in there. Don't go all the way to the bottom of it, though. You don't want to see the bottom of your bowl. Anyway, that ought to work right there. Alright? Now, next thing I'm going to do is get me some shortening. Crisco, whatever. This isn't Crisco, but it's shortening. Get me just a bucket of shortening. You get you a couple. She calls it egg size. You know the size of an egg, so that makes it, see, you can kind of sort of, and you just put them in here just like that. I'm gonna get me 2 egg size handfuls of this here shortening and put in there. All right, let me get my buttermilk. I love buttermilk. I love to get it and get me a cup of it and drink it. And the boys just, they gag when I drink it. that makes it even funner to drink it. But you always shake it up real good. So now I'm just gonna, see if you can see it like this. I'm just gonna, where's it at? Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna pour it in there. Just like this. That's all I'm gonna do. That's it. Now, the one little thing that I'm gonna add that is not in that recipe is a pinch of salt. See that? It's just a pinch of salt. I'm just going to throw it in there. So now you just start taking your hands just like this and start squeezing you shortening in there. Work it. You just have to work it. Oops, I had it off of there, didn't I? Just squeeze it. Get it, start working it in there. Okay? And this takes just a little bit. You got to be patient. But kind of whirl it around in there like this, see? And it'll grab that flour from the sides. It'll grab it. And you just keep squeezing it in there, working them little clumps of shortening through your fingers. And it'll directly smooth out. So I'm going to keep doing that. Just working it and working it. And see how it's picking the flour up without you doing anything. It does it by itself. If you just keep working in the middle of it. I'm going to set it down for a minute. Maybe you can see. Well, I'll just leave it right there. That seems to work best. But anyway, I'm going to keep doing this, just like I was showing you. And we'll see if we can get us some biscuit dough going here. I love homemade biscuits, especially with gravy. Oh, man. Gravy and biscuits, that's one of my favorite things. We love gravy and biscuits. We grew up eating gravy and biscuits. When I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money at one point in our life, and of course we didn't know it. Us kids were happy. That's some of the happiest times of my life, was when apparently we didn't have no money. But that's all right. We had Jesus and great parents and all the good things of home. Mama always cooked, and I tell everybody that food for your family is love. my mama loved us with food. That's what she did, and I tend to have the same thing going there. I love to cook for my family, and it's always fun to, I don't care who you are, if you make something or whatever and people enjoy it, it makes you, it's fulfilling to see them enjoying your labors, I guess. I don't look at it as labor, it's just, I just love doing it, really. But all I know is old home country cooking. I don't know anything else. It's all the ingredients I have in my kitchen is home cooking stuff. I mean, I don't have them fancy ingredients for the stuff they make nowadays. I like some of that stuff they make, but I don't know how to make it, and I don't even know what it's called, half of it. They say something like that, and I'm like, what is that, you know? But if you start talking, you know, chicken and biscuits and gravy and buttermilk pie and things like that, well, I know what you're talking about then. I can connect with you on that. All right, it's starting to get thicker. See, let me show you. It takes a minute. You gotta be patient with it. You don't want to overwork your dough though. Once it starts making dough, you don't want to overwork that. That'll make your biscuits tough. I call it tough. It'll make them tough, you know. You want them light and fluffy, with a good little top on them, like, you know. All right, it's getting closer now. I'll show you when I get it, start getting closer to the consistency I want. Because then we're going to dump it out on this board and we'll work a little more flour into it then on the board. I just want to get it where I can hold it together and then put it out of this bowl. We are almost there. Get it turned in here a little bit. Keep working it. Just, and like I say, you don't even have to touch that flour on the outside. You just keep working the dough. The dough will grab that flour itself. And that's the trick of this, because you'll have a big bowl of flour left in here. You can reuse this flour. I just cover this bowl up and reuse this flour. Of course, this one, like I say, is self-rising. So you got to use it for things like that you want to, you know, puff up. So I'm fixing to see if I can get this over here. I got me a board here and everything, and I'm gonna dump me some flour out on here. Spread it out with my hands a little bit. Get it right there. Maybe that'll work. Ooh, that's bright looking, isn't it? Oh, check this out. I want you to see. Where's it at? See what it is right now? Look at it. See, it's like that. So I'm fixing to dump this out on here. Let's see here. Well, I ain't gonna dump it out. I'm gonna get me some flour on my hands where I can hold it. I'm just gonna pick it up out of there and put it here on this board. Now I can work it in there a little bit. Like I say, you don't want to work it too much, but you want to get all your flour clumps and stuff mixed in there. But you're going to want it soft, you know. You want a soft, fluffy biscuit. You don't want a old, tough one. So it's, look at it, it's soft, pliable. I wish you could feel it. They don't have a feel thing through the phone. That's too bad. A feel one or a smell one. Probably one of these days they'll come up with something like that, though. This old techno world. And get me some more flour here. I don't want it to stick to my board. Spread it out there. Now, there it is. See it? See, it's soft when I push it, so I'm going to just spread it out here. I don't know. Put me some flour on there. I don't know. I guess you'd call it a 1/2 inch thick. I reckon you can make them however thick you want them. If you want some big old tough ones, not tough, big old tall ones, you know, but I'm going to spread it out about like that. try that. Let me get over here and wipe my hands off. One of my favorite things is you can take this flour and get you some flour in your hands like this and go over to the garbage can and rub that on there, and it'll rub most of that flour off. Hold on a minute. I said flour, I meant dough, but see, look, it has most of it off there. Now I can wash them real easy. All right, I've got my oven heating on 400. You want to cook these boogers hot. That's one thing about the biscuits. You want to cook them hot, because you want them to rise up quick and brown quickly and stuff, but that way they stay soft and moist on the inside. If you cook them slow, they'll rise real slow, you know, and that kind of thing. I hate that light's in there, but anyway, they'll rise real slow, and the slower they rise like that and everything, you know, it just ends up making them they dry out in the center and stuff, and they're just not right. You want them moist in the middle, that's for sure. So, let me get my biscuit pan here. Over here sound like a bull in a china shop. I love my cast iron skillets. I reckon you can use whatever you want to, but, you know, I prefer that. It seems to, Mama always made her rolls in them. All right, I'm gonna put me a little bit of, just a touch of oil in there. I really could have, see, I'm just wiping it, just barely, going all on the inside of my, I could have used the shortening. I just wasn't thinking. I was going to oil my skillet, and I oiled it. Anyway, get me a I gotta get me a good biscuit cutter, but I want them about the size of this cup here. I've got me a little old lid over there that I make I forget, I make some other things out of it, but it ain't biscuits. It's I can't even remember what it is now, but this right here ought to work. I'm just gonna cut them out. Look at that. Okay, I'll put it in there. We're gonna try this out. Make some biscuits this morning. Don't want the video to be too long. Show you how real easy it really is to make homemade biscuits, though. It's just how easy it is to make a pan of biscuits. If you got that self-rising flour, you don't have to have all your other stuff in there, you know, if you're using all-purpose. But I'm going to do it just like this right here. Let's see if I can get two of them in this middle, and then I'll show you how I got them in there. How I lined them up in it. There we go. All right. Now, looky here. Look at that pan of biscuits. And it's been 14 minutes. All right. I'm fixing to put them in the oven. I've got it preheated at 400. I'm going to put them on this here middle rack. And I don't know the time. I don't know. 15 minutes, give or take, we'll call it. When they get done, I'll come back.